we're going to have a panel of moms up here. And so, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jamie Keeter, and I am the Children's Ministry Director here at the Bridge Church. And so, for those of you that are moms, I'm back there with all your biddies all the time. And I also have 3 of my own kids. I have one in 1st grade, one in 5th grade, and one going into high school. So, the challenges that are to come, right? But we're really excited this morning just to have a couple ladies up here with us that we all share different experiences through motherhood. And if you're a mom or a dad or even, just a human in general, we all have different experiences. And so it's exciting when we get to take a moment and just share with others the things that God has taught us, maybe some of our struggles, some of the things that are going on in our life. And so without further ado, I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves, and then we'll get started.
My name is Bunny Hunt, and we have been coming to this church since the beginning of the year.
My name is Rachel, and I've been coming to the church for like 3 years, I guess. And I have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, going on 16, I think, most days. And we are also a military family, so we move around a lot, and all the fun stuff that comes with that. So.
And I have 2 children. I have 2 girls. They're 10 and 6, and they have 4 legs and nubby tails.
All right. So, what does Mother's Day mean to you?
Mother's Day for me is kind of always, it's different. Every year actually kind of brings new things. I didn't have like a traditional mom to bring me up, but for me it's really about recognizing my kids, the reason that I'm a mom, and being grateful for all the people who have impacted my life and made me the mom I am, because it's not just the people that raised me, but it's also my friends and my family that are around me that really just help me be the person that I am and the mom that I am to my kids. So I like to take an extra day on Mother's Day and remember that and thank them for that.
My experience, I said I wasn't going to cry, that's why I have notes in front of me, but was a little different. I had a lot of mixed emotions. My mom died when she was 42 years old, unexpectedly, and I was 23 at the time. And also, I have been pregnant 4 times. 2 of those times I felt the baby move, but I never was able to hold any of those children in my arms. So for many years, I just felt bitterness and loss at Mother's Day, and for a long time, I didn't even like children, to be around children.
That's hard. So, what helped you get through some of those challenging times? I know being a mom in general can be difficult, and for you, just having those difficult times, what were some of those things that impacted your life during all of that?
I just go back to my mother telling me, since I, was not a mother all those years, to give any advice. But growing up with those 5 kids, Mama always used to tell. We had a tough time growing up, and Mama always used to tell us, where there's a will, there's a way. And I have lived by that, and I have shared that with many people, because it has gotten me through some really tough times.
I just take it one day at a time, because honestly, there's some days that I just want to give up and not, like I said, my daughter's just like me, so it's trying to make sure that I don't teach her the wrong thing. So just take it one day at a time and not be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
And for you, Rachel, especially being a military wife, I know that has its own challenges. And so I think that you come from a different perspective than a lot of moms. And so what is some advice that you would give to a mom in general, and then maybe a specific for a military wife who's raising kids and has that lifestyle of moving and their husbands being gone, and what's something that you would say to them?
I think relating to the military specifically, it's really just, again, you got to take it one day at a time and understand that every day is a new day, just like, God has new mercies every day. You got to have that with your spouse, you have to have that with your kids, and just be patient and understanding, because especially with your kids, they're, learning all these things just like I am. Like, I know that, we're going to move every few years and we're going to do these things, but they don't necessarily understand it. So it's really just about being patient and listening to your kids and giving them a chance to have those emotions and to walk through it with them and let them get through each day just like you have to.
That's good.
What about you?
Oh, I think for me, the advice that I would give to a mother, I spend a lot of time with kids in general, and so I think just enjoying the moments. Now I'm gonna cry because I'm a crier. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but like even with our kids, Liam's the baby, and so I'm a lot more intentional to savor those moments, because with the first one, it's like, oh my gosh, this stage is horrible. Just hurry up and get through it. You're trying to rush that kid to the next stage, thinking maybe tomorrow will be better. Like teenagehood will be better. We'll get to being a teenager, and then all the things that came with preteen will be gone. But each stage has different challenges, and so for me, just learning to slow down and enjoy those moments and savor those. And so it's about intentionality, I think, and just taking time to savor that moment, and even if you're not a parent, like for me in kids ministry, that's one thing that it's easier to do because they're not my kids and I get to send them home hyped up on candy and Jesus every week. But it's fun because I just get to savor those moments with them of every little hug and every little smile and every little answer about, when they're really getting the Bible story. I'm so excited. And, so even not as a parent, I think you can savor those moments with other people. And last is, if you were to speak into someone's life who is a mother, is thinking about being a mother, or even just someone who's a mother figure or a mentor to someone else, what would you want to say to them?
I would really just kind of second what you said. It's take it one day at a time, be intentional, and savor it because they grow up so fast. And like you said, I find myself trying to rush through it and this attitude's got to go. Maybe it'll be better, but then there's moments that I look back with Facebook memories and I see, they were just little babies and their voices and how much they've changed even in a year. And I want to go back to that, but then at the same time I don't want to go back to that. So it's just enjoy it and savor those moments for sure.
That's good.
Just a little background here. When I married Alan, he had 2 children, Sarah 9 and Rob 7. And so that I was in my early 40s, so that was quite interesting. And then when Rob was 14, he came to live with us. And at that time in my life, I was going through what older women go through. And Rob was going through teenage hormones. So we really had a rough time for quite a while. But with God's grace, we got through it. And later in life, we had a close relationship, and I felt like he was my son. When he was 24, he died unexpectedly. It was his heart. But I know that Rob was a gift to me from God, and God used me and Alan to draw Rob close to Jesus. So we know today that Jesus is face-to-face with Rob. And then I just want to say, that child that I did not birth, I felt like was the biggest responsibility that God ever had given me. And the most important thing I could do for that child was to show him the love of God. And so, each child that comes to a woman, no matter which way, God brings them as a gift to women, and it's from him. And they deserve the love of God. So I just want to read Deuteronomy God put this on my heart this morning. Deuteronomy 11, verse 18. It just talks about God's commands in the Bible. And it says, fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds. Teach them to your children. Talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road. Of course, now it's when you drive in the car. When you lie down and when you get up. The most important thing we can do for any child in our life is to show them Jesus, so we know where they'll end up. And I'm sorry, one last thing. I am a grandmother, and I'm called Mimi.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you, ladies. We appreciate it and all of your wisdom. And one thing that I think, just to second what Bunny said, is that for all of us, there's kids here at our church, there's kids all over that need people in their lives. And as much as, here I go again, as much as it's important for them to have the voices of their parents, one of the things I believe super strongly is that it's so important to have other voices. And that's part of the reason that I'm so passionate about kids ministry, is because on one hand, I want to equip the parents to teach their kids about Jesus, because that verse talks about God is giving instructions through Moses to the Israelites of how to raise their kids, and he says to make sure that it's a part of your lifestyle. It needs to be a part of every moment of every day. But at the same time, there's so many opportunities for kids that don't have those parents, or even for the ones that do, just to have that other voice in their life and those other mentors just circled around them and that are just helping pour those same things into those kids, because it's so important for them to see a community of believers that they can look to other than their parents. Because a lot of times, if any of you are raising preteens and teenagers, one thing I have learned is that I'm not cool anymore. I really thought I was, but I'm not. So they don't listen to me the way that they used to. And there are times when I've realized that I need other people pouring into my kids, because as many times as I say it, I'm a broken record and I'm just mom. And so it's so important for people, whether you're a parent or not, just to gather around the community of kids that we have here at the Bridge that God's entrusted us with, and just pour into them who Jesus is and the love that he has for us. So.
Well, I've been around both of you too, and you're both awesome mothers.